Hi, I'm Lights Camera Jackson, and welcome to LCJ Live. It is Sunday, November 28, 2021. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving, and maybe you went to the movies because a lot of people did. If you remember last year, think all the way back to Thanksgiving 2020. The top movie was The Croods: A New Age, with about $14 million over the first 5 days. Well, we've come a long way since then. And your number one movie for Thanksgiving, once again, is an animated film. This time, Disney's Encanto, with a 5-day open of just over $40 million. A difference from 40 and 14. That's huge. Obviously, not as big as some of the other animated movies that Disney has opened over Thanksgiving over the years, but hey, they will take this win for sure. $40 million, a huge improvement over where we were last year, and a big start for an animated film, as I mentioned. It needs about $57.5 million to become the highest-grossing completely animated movie of the pandemic and of the year. Actually, of the year. It needs $59 million to be of the pandemic to pass The Croods: A New Age, and it needs a little over $70 million to pass Space Jam: A New Legacy to become the biggest family movie of this entire pandemic. And I think Encanto is going to get there when it comes to all of those. This is a good start for a film that is bringing in the families. Another film that brought in the families over Thanksgiving, Ghostbusters: Afterlife, with a 5-day total of about $35 million. So really a close battle between Encanto and Ghostbusters: Afterlife. A lot of people really didn't see this coming, with this being this tight for these two movies. But Ghostbusters: Afterlife, 24.5 in the 3-day. Encanto with 27 in the 3-day. And Ghostbusters: Afterlife is up to $88 million. It's doing pretty good for Sony. Another film doing good for Sony came in 10th this weekend, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. It is up to $209.5 million. Before we get to more box office, if you're just joining us here on LCJ Live, I've got Belle here because over the past week, the 30th anniversary of the greatest movie of all time, which is the animated version of Beauty and the Beast. 30 years. It's unbelievable that it's been 30 years. Obviously more than I've been alive, but incredible legacy that movie has had over the last 3 decades. So a celebration for sure for Disney today for the big Encanto win and for one of their all-time best and most successful films, Beauty and the Beast, celebrating 30 years. House of Gucci, a film I saw Tuesday night, and it's a mess. But it did well for adults over this Thanksgiving 5-day, looking at just about $22 million. That is already double what Ridley Scott's last movie, The Last Duel, made back in October, about $11 million. So House of Gucci already much more successful than that film. 3-day, $14.2 million. As I said, 5-day of about 22. Eternals with $7.9 million. It is over the $150 million mark, so Disney is celebrating that as well. Third new movie out for this Thanksgiving weekend, Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, with a 5-day start of $8.8 million. Luis Mi Huertas, thanks for being here on LCJ Live. So Resident Evil didn't do so hot, just 8.8 in the 5 days. Clifford the Big Red Dog, still bringing in the families, almost $5 million over the 3 days. About $7 million over the 5 days. It is at $43 million for Paramount. King Richard with about $4.7 million over the long Thanksgiving weekend. It's closing in on 11.5. As I wrote on my latest blog piece at lights-camera-jackson.com, I think King Richard's going to have long play in the theaters with award season. People seeing it that way, people watching it on HBO Max, and we'll get it on DVD and digital over the next several months. That film is going to have a long play, even well beyond maybe even Oscar night. Dune is at $102.2 million, and No Time to Die is up to $158.1 million. I think it'll get to $160. Not the $168 of Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, but MGM really giving it its all with No Time to Die. People are still going to it. Belfast is at about $5 million. Film that opened in limited release this weekend, Licorice Pizza, the latest from Paul Thomas Anderson, opened in just 4 theaters. But big money, $335,000, $84,000 per screen average. That's just like old times, honestly. With a start like that for Licorice Pizza, Paul Thomas Anderson's film from MGM will expand over the next several weeks. We'll see, maybe they'll move up some of the expansion a little bit. I know they're saving some for Christmas time, but maybe they'll make it sooner. But Paul Thomas Anderson fans got to be very thrilled with that start for that movie and MGM as well. $84,000 per screen average is, I think, one of the highest of the year. I know Luca made about that-ish in the one theater at the El Capitan, so you're going to have to look at those. But very, very good start for that film. Another movie that opened this weekend that the money's not out for it yet, and I hope that Universal releases the money for it soon. Sing 2 held nationwide paid preview screenings yesterday in 1,000 theaters. Many of them, according to social media, from my tracking and understanding, many of them sold out. They were at 5 o'clock yesterday. You could see Sing 2 weeks before it opens officially on December 22nd, which is a Wednesday. And if families decided to go to that may have taken a little bit of money out of Encanto yesterday and out of Ghostbusters and Clifford yesterday. But again, we don't have the money yet, but I hope Universal releases that stat because they should have done very well. I have seen Sing 2. I was going to go yesterday to the nationwide screening near me, but I actually got a link. Universal sent out links to all Critics' Choice Association members the other day for Sing 2. I have watched Sing 2. I'm going to probably interview the director, so I don't want to give away total opinions and total thoughts yet. I like the film. I do. And there are some very, very good moments in it, some 4-star moments. But I don't want to spoil everything. I don't want to spoil surprises and things for everyone who still hasn't seen the movie yet, which is going to be a lot of people, obviously. So I don't want to give everything away. But I enjoyed watching Sing 2, and I hope if you went to the theater yesterday with your family to see it, you went safely and that everything was good and that you enjoyed the film. And if the theaters are open at Christmas time, obviously we've got this new variant that's dominating the headlines, and who knows, I mean, we saw in March of 2020 that you can pull a movie with 6 days to go. You can pull a big movie like A Quiet Place Part 2, and obviously all that followed. But we will see if the theaters are open at Christmas time, which I'm sure Universal hopes they are, so Sing 2 can make lots of money. Warner Brothers for The Matrix, Sony for Spider-Man. There's some big movies and some big award season movies coming out in December that these studios want to make some money. Disney with West Side Story, obviously, so they want the theaters open. If they are, Sing 2 will probably do pretty good. Though families got to see it this weekend, so that'll take a little percentage out of what it does in December. If the theaters aren't open, I think Sing 2 will still qualify for animated feature because they were able to play the film yesterday in Los Angeles and in obviously all the other parts of the country. So I think what Universal would then have to decide is, how do we want to release it? Do we want to go straight to Peacock? Do we want to save it for a little bit? They're in an interesting position because they already put Boss Baby on Peacock. They put Halloween Kills on Peacock. But they didn't decide to put Sing 2 on Peacock because they want all the theater money. Well, now the theaters are slightly at this moment being threatened again by this new variant. Even just a little bit more than where we were at last week. So that'll be really interesting to see what happens. I think they will still put it up for animated film and for song because Bono has a song that's towards the end of the movie. So Universal will not stop that campaign. The question is, will they still release this movie for Christmas? Some way, shape, or form, if the theaters decide to close. Interestingly, Paramount made a decision the other day, even with the success of Paw Patrol the movie in the theaters and on Paramount Plus. Same with Clifford. They are taking their animated film Rumble, which was going to open in theaters in February for that winter break for kids out of school. Instead, they're moving it up to December 15 with an exclusive Paramount Plus launch. They want a big holiday movie on Paramount Plus to compete with Universal having Sing 2 as of now in the theaters, to compete with Encanto going to Disney Plus on Christmas Eve, to compete with Ron's Gone Wrong going to Disney Plus and HBO Max on December 15th. I've seen Ron's Gone Wrong, by the way. I watched that the other day. Thought it was okay. It's really interesting, this decision by Paramount to put Rumble exclusively on Paramount Plus for Christmas time, to move it up 2 months. I'm looking forward to seeing the film, maybe talking to some of the people involved with it, but I did not see this coming. And I think a lot of people didn't see this coming, because we're all looking at the animated films for the year going, all right, there's still these movies left to be released, but I've seen most of the animated films, and then all of a sudden, boom, we got one more animated film sneaking in, a major release from Paramount. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how it does on Paramount Plus, going up against the other competition over the holidays to get those family eyeballs. So that is Rumble for Paramount Plus. So this weekend, here's the thing. This week coming up, when it comes to new movies opening, there's going to be one wide. It's called Wolf. It's a thriller. I have not seen Wolf yet. I've been screening a lot of awards movies, and Wolf I haven't had time for, and it's not going to be an awards movie, even though it's a Focus Features film coming out in December. That's so rare to me for a Focus Features film coming out in December to not really be an awards contender. Anyway, we've got that. And in limited release is an awards contender, a fantastic film I screened way back in February called Flea, which is an amazing animated documentary Neon is putting out in select theaters on Friday. But, as usual, as was the case pre-COVID, the first weekend of December is usually down. No studio wants to release a major movie. If there is a major movie, it's usually 1, 2 max, but they're not even big films. They don't make a lot of money, and all the films from this Thanksgiving weekend take huge drops. So next Sunday, you're going to see headlines that say, box office down, we're all depressed again. Well, it's to be expected, because studios decided not to put anything out this coming weekend, even though they could have. They could put something out, but Disney's saving West Side Story to the 10th, and other movies the 17th, and the 22nd, and the 24th, and some on streaming services even on New Year's Eve. So, you're going to see those headlines. People are going to go, oh, nobody wants to go to the movies again. They're going to say all these headlines. Everybody went this weekend because it was Thanksgiving, and people want to go while they still can. And next weekend, everything will be down. It is to be expected. How far down will everything go? Who knows? But everything will be way down. So don't be surprised by those headlines. I'm not going to be at all, because I've been tracking the box office for the last 16 years. And that's exactly what happens pretty much every year. Last year was obviously an exception. But every year, the weekend after Thanksgiving, that first weekend in December, is down. Usually because people, what they used to do is, if you didn't do your shopping this weekend, you got your shopping done the first weekend in December. And kids are back in school, and students are doing final exam things during this first week of December and all that. Then when West Side Story comes out on the 10th, and Spider-Man on the 17th, Sing, Matrix, Kingsman on the 22nd, then things will build back up if the theaters are open. There are no guarantees. Nothing happens until it actually happens. That's what has been one of my philosophies of life. Nothing happens until it actually happens. You can pull a movie with 6 days to go. We learned that last March. So you never know. But I'm going to try to stay optimistic. I think these studios have to stay optimistic for the awards contenders and for the big blockbusters to make as much money as they can. But it's interesting that no studio, except for Focus with this little movie called Wolf, that if it makes $1 million, that's probably what it's going to make next weekend, because I haven't seen much marketing for it at all. If it makes $1 million, maybe $2 million, if that. Focus will be happy with that, I guess. But it's interesting, no other studio really wanted to take advantage of this weekend coming up. But that's where we're at. I've been screening a ton of awards movies. I saw Sing 2. I saw Red Rocket last night, but I can't tell you my thoughts on Red Rocket. I've seen 3 or 4 other movies that I can't tell you what they are yet. I can't say my opinions. I'm going to see a film tomorrow. I can't tell you what it is. I'm going to another film later in the week. I can't tell you what it is yet. I'm sworn to secrecy by the studios with thoughts and opinions. I'm waiting on a few big movies. Will I get to see Matrix before I submit my Critics' Choice ballot in less than 2 weeks? I don't know. Fingers are crossed there. A few other big movies I still want to see, including Being the Ricardos. So there's a lot I'm still waiting on and looking forward to as we get deep into award season, because 2 weeks from tomorrow, Critics' Choice Awards nominations are out. I submit my ballot by next Friday, the 10th. And I still got a lot of films to watch. So it's going to be another busy couple of weeks. I'll let you know. I'll give you updates on everything when I can. But most of all, I hope you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay positive, you keep watching movies, keep watching animated holiday specials as they air over the next several weeks. New LCJ Q&A podcast episodes coming at you this week. Director of Bebo Saves Christmas, holiday special on CW Wednesday at 8. Director of the new show on the Sheep holiday special that premieres this Friday on Netflix. And next week, new LCJ Q&A with the director of Mosley, an animated film available to watch at home on December 10th. So 3 new LCJ Q&As and more coming at you very soon. I've seen some other animated films. Again, I can't tell you what they are yet, but I've seen some other big movies that'll be out, including one big movie that is going to be out legitimately in 2022 I have already seen, but I can't tell you what it is yet. I wish I could, but I can't right now. But a lot to look forward to. So keep it to animationscoop.com and the LCJ Q&A podcast at lcj.podbean.com for more. New Too Fast, Two Films podcast episode at toofast2films.com. Mike Sargent and I review House of Gucci. We have a fun conversation about that. We also talk about the new Julia Child documentary, Julia. So check that out as well. Keep it to Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, and that website is lights-camera-jackson.com. Thank you for watching today's episode of LCJ Live. See you next Sunday, and fly, Eagles, fly. Bye-bye, everybody.